Τώρα η ομιλία μας είναι από τον κύριο Spector, που όσοι ταξιδεύετε στο εξωτερικό, είμαι σίγουρη ότι θα έχετε ακούσει το Happy Cow. Εκπροσωπεί το Happy Cow, λοιπόν, και θα μας μιλήσει για το πώς είναι να ταξιδεύεις ως vegan ανά τον κόσμο.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Just set my timer here, just so I don't go over, because I saw Will outside. Let's do that's looks good. Okay, so hello, thank you for coming today. How many of you in the room are vegans? How many vegans do we have? Let's see a show of hands. Wow, wow, wow. Vegetarians? Okay. How many of you are not vegan or vegetarian? Omnivores? Okay, just a couple. So pretty much a vegan audience overall. That's great. That's great. So I'm Ken Spector. How many of you have heard of Happy Cow? Happy Cow, cool, cool. Well, Happy Cow is the world's largest vegan and vegetarian restaurant guide and health food store guide. We're an app and we're a website. We're among the most popular travel apps in the world. And also we have a community of people like yourselves who write reviews and add pictures to our website. That's very helpful when you travel and you use our app to find vegan restaurants, farmers markets, health food stores. We really encourage you to add reviews to our website. It's really helpful for all of you. We also have 450 ambassadors throughout the world. Here's one of them right next to me. She's right here, Ellie. Yeah. Oh, you are too? You're an ambassador as well? Yeah, yeah. Which country are you an ambassador for? Or which state?
United States, Florida.
Florida. Okay, we have a Florida ambassador here as well. So we have 450 ambassadors throughout the world. I didn't know you were sitting here. Okay, let's continue. So we also have a cookbook. How many of you have heard of our Happy Cow cookbook? Probably none of you. Okay, so we have a cookbook. So a number of restaurants throughout the world have donated some of their best recipes, and we've included them in our Happy Cow. Let's see, does this little green thing work? Yeah, there we go. Have included their recipes in our cookbook, and these are amazing recipes, and it is for sale at happycowcookbook.com if you are interested in cooking some of the best vegan restaurants in the world and their recipes that they've allowed us to use. Okay, let's get right into our data. Okay, so I'm going to start with, these are the cities with the most vegan restaurants on Happy Cow. Some of these I think are going to surprise you. Okay, Paris, France at number 10 with 56 vegan restaurants. Okay, let's keep going. Taipei, Taiwan with 56 vegan restaurants. Let's keep going. Toronto, Canada, 57. I was just in Toronto 4 weeks ago. Went to Toronto Veg Fest, actually. It was for my 4th year. And then Sao Paulo, Brazil, 64 vegan restaurants. Let's keep going. Berlin, Germany. How many of you have been to Berlin? Okay. Berlin is an amazing place to go for vegans. It's incredible. Okay, 69 vegan restaurants. Actually, I have to change that. There were 71. This list is changing so quickly. Just to let you know, last week I had a presentation and there were 68 fewer vegan restaurants in the world on Happy Cow. Today I looked up this morning, there were 68 more vegan restaurants in the world. That's incredible when you think about it. Okay, Tokyo, Japan, 72 vegan restaurants. Los Angeles, California, where I'm from, 83 vegan restaurants. Ho Chi Minh, 88 vegan restaurants. Okay, now we're going to go to the top 2. Okay, number 2, where? Barcelona. How many of you, we'll talk about, well, actually, I'll give you number 2. I'll make it easy for you. What do you think number 2 is? Warsaw, okay. Colombia? Tel Aviv? London? Okay, New York? Okay, number 2 is? New York. We're left with one left. We're one city left. London, London. Israel, Tel Aviv, anyone else? San Francisco. Australia. No, it is London. Now, London was the first city in the world to surpass 100 vegan restaurants on Happy Cow last year. It is incredible. I was in London in February, I was in London in September. I'm going to London again in a couple of weeks. It's just an incredible place for vegans. I can't, and you know, that number I have to check. That may have gone up since yesterday. So, you know, that may not be accurate. That's how quickly London is growing in terms of vegan restaurants. It's absolutely incredible. Now, this is a little bit different. This is vegan density. I'll give you an example. A place like Prague, per person, has more vegan restaurants than any city on the planet. Warsaw, someone had said Warsaw before. Warsaw is an incredible place to go as a vegan, incredible. In fact, in about 2 square kilometers, there are 45 vegan restaurants. Think about that, 45 vegan restaurants in 2 square kilometers. You can literally walk to 10 of them in minutes. So it's incredible. They also have 2 vegan sushi places, which I'll get into a little bit later. So that is what the density looks like. If you're into walking and not driving, these are the places you might want to go: Prague, Portland, Sydney, Warsaw, Berlin, San Francisco, etc. Let's continue on. So these are some tips from a world-traveling vegan. I like to meet people before I go on my trips. I usually have friends before I go anywhere. If it's a neighboring country, if it's a neighboring state, I make sure I have friends before I go there. And the way I do it is, I mean, Airbnb, I like to stay in Airbnbs. They tend to be cheaper. You tend to get a location that's in the center of where the vegan restaurants are, which I like to do. And then Facebook too. I go into Facebook groups and contact people and just say, hi, I'm Ken. I'd like to meet you sometime. Maybe we can get some vegan schnitzel. I don't know what else is. Okay, and Couchsurfing is a great one. Even if you're not a member now, I'd encourage you to join. It's a great place to just filter out, just put in vegan and say you want to meet vegans on Couchsurfing. You can find plenty of vegans to meet around the world who want to meet. They actually say on the profiles, I want to meet people in my city. So that's a really great resource to do. Google Translate. How many of you have Google Translate on your phones right now? And it's a free app, so, okay. If you travel anywhere, or if you have any friends who speak other languages, it's invaluable. Google Translate's amazing. You can actually I downloaded the Greek language onto my phone. One of the features I love is I can put up the phone to a label and it translates automatically the label into English, right as you're focusing in on it. It's like goggles that translate the world. It's pretty incredible. So I love this thing. And you can also speak orally. You can just talk to someone and say, hi, I'm Ken, and it translates immediately. So I encourage you to use that if you're traveling. And it helps as a vegan, obviously, because you can tell people what you do. So being a vegan is great. Over the years, I've heard so many rumors, and I've heard so many things. I've been a vegan, by the way, for 27 years, almost 27 years. So for any of those of you who feel like you're not going to be living because people have told you that you're going to die, someone out there told me her parents told her she was going to die if she became vegan. My parents told me I was going to be unhealthy. 27 years later, they still think I'm going to be eventually unhealthy. But I'm the healthiest person in the family. So anyway, deficiencies. How many of you, as vegans, supplement B12? How many of you don't supplement B12? Not to be embarrassed, I didn't for a long time. Okay. I'll tell you, I haven't found a good source of B12 other than a supplement. We used to get B12 from our water wells, or dirty vegetables. It's sort of a bacteria. I would recommend you do that over time. It can cause permanent damage. It takes a long time. If you haven't done it in 5 or 6 years and you've been vegan for 5 or 6 years, you may not have a problem. But over about 10 years, 8 years, you could have a problem. And I think it's 55% of vegans are low in B12. So that's one thing I would definitely supplement. The other is iron. As a woman, you might want to supplement iron. If not, get your blood checked. That's a possibility. Doesn't always happen, but it sometimes does. Calcium, on occasion. I've seen vegans, or I've talked to vegans who have low calcium. What I did is I put some of the vegan sources of iron and calcium, and B12 obviously is no reliable source. D3 or vitamin D comes from the sun. But one thing I recommend you do, if you want to get vitamin D and you don't want to supplement, what you can do is buy mushrooms, put them in the sun for about 2 days, 8 hours, and then 8 hours. Now those mushrooms have vitamin D in them. Now they're going to be dry, and then you can powder them and you can keep them throughout the winter. You have vitamin D from the mushrooms. So that's a good way to have a good source of vitamin D. Omega-3, this is another one. Flax seeds are a good source. I actually have a little grinder, and I grind up my flax seeds and I put it on all my food to get my omegas. But there's a form of EPA DHA from algae that is really good too. Now, normally we got this from fish. That's a good source of EPA DHA. The problem with fish, I don't speak Greek, but I think what the woman before me was saying was fish is contaminated. Maybe she wasn't, but it looked like she was saying that. But a lot of our fish in our oceans is contaminated with mercury and other heavy metals. So, I don't recommend fish anymore. And the fact is there's not going to be enough fish eventually to go around to all of the human beings that are alive. So either we stop eating fish or minimize the amount of fish we eat now, or there will be no fish to eat eventually. I've read studies on that. So I would say supplement. The ones I supplement actually are B12. I do it like once a week. I just take a couple of B12 pills, and I've gotten my blood tested for 27 years. I've never had a deficiency, ever. My parents both eat meat. My sister eats meat. Everyone in my family eats meat but me. So it's not as though I'm meant to be a vegan. Some people think, oh, you're meant to be vegan. Well, I'm not. Omega-3s are another one. So what I take are B12. I have some algae, EPA, DHA. That's it. I don't take any of the others. Oh, and D3, I'm getting enough sun here, so I don't have to worry about that now. In the winter, I sometimes take vitamin D also, or you could take those mushrooms that have been, sunbathing in the sun for a couple of days. And so flax seeds are the source of omega-3s. And iodine as well. Seaweed is a good source of iodine. We used to have iodized salt, but it seems many are using non-iodized salt or sea salt, which doesn't have the added iodine. So, I would recommend, especially during pregnancy, seaweed. A little bit of seaweed is good for you. Okay, and those are the ones that I supplement. Vegan passport. This was something, actually, a book that was given to me. And you might, if you have a camera, you might want to take a picture of that when you travel, because that picture alone sort of describes what a vegan is. You don't have to speak English or Greek or any language to know that the smiley face is what I want, the frown face is what I don't want. And so I've used this book in many countries in the world. My book is falling apart right now, but that picture is really cool. And you can download apps as well to translate things like that as well. Okay, food to eat on an airplane. How many of you know that you can order a vegan meal on an international flight normally? Okay, I always get people that don't know that. So you can normally order a vegan meal ahead of time on an international flight if you fly, maybe a more expensive airline. I even saw, I think I flew, I don't know what I flew a really inexpensive airline, and they even had a vegan box on their airline, and they didn't the flight before. So veganism is winning on airplanes, so that's great. But I recommend, I usually don't eat on airplanes. It seems wasteful with all the plastic that they give you and whatnot. So I just bring like nuts, fruits, grapes, dried veggies and beans and things like that just to tide me over. That's actually a nice, on Emirates Air, they have a nice, they even cut the carrots nicely if you see over there. They have dragon fruit, and this is a vegan meal on a flight from Hong Kong to Thailand. It was very nice. So, I always go to local markets. I love going, I went to a market here that's fabulous. I took some great footage. It was one of the best farmers markets I've ever been to right here in Athens. And it went down like 10 streets. I couldn't figure it out. It just kept going and going and going. I said, I gotta go now. But it was a great farmer's market right here in the heart of Athens. I use Google to learn about local items, like fruits and things like that. This is a fruit market in Chile. Looks very similar to here, actually, but those right there are, I think, murta berries, which you don't have here. But I like to go to the local markets as a vegan. You'll learn so much about local fruits. I just find normal grocery stores to be really boring. I find farmers markets to be exciting when you see a new fruit or a new type of pomegranate or something like that. Always encourage getting nuts on a flight, but not peanuts. Peanuts are too easy to find. Try any other nuts or you will be tired of eating peanuts. Those are pine nuts in Chile. They were these puzzle tree nuts and unusual things you find at markets. Those are murta berries in Chile. These are just some things I like to bring on airplanes. My favorite vegan destinations in the world. I might add Greece to that list after this trip. I'm still, there's only 10 vegan restaurants here now, so maybe next year I'll add, Athens to my list here. But these are my favorites for now: Berlin, Warsaw, London, England, Los Angeles, and Thailand. And I'm going to go and show you some of the reasons why I like these places. In Berlin, they have a grocery store chain, a vegan grocery store chain that is as big as any grocery store I've been to in this country. It's a real grocery store. It's huge. They have over 120 types of vegan cheese alone in vegans. Over 120 types of vegan cheese. That's incredible when you think about it. So, and by the way, the last time I was in Berlin was about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. Now they probably have more. I have to talk to the owner. Found a vegan doner kebab place, which was pretty amazing. I bet best amazing quiche that I've ever had at No Milk today, and an upscale restaurant called Lucky Leek. I'll go through some of these. This was an interesting picture. That's actually vegan meat on a spit. I see that in Greece as well. And there were two young ladies sitting in this restaurant called Vonner. And I walked over to them and I said, are you vegans? And they said, no, we're not vegan. They sort of laughed at me like, vegan? No. I said, well, do you like your sandwich? The answer was, yeah, it's great. We eat here all the time. I said, do you know it's vegan? They said, no, it's not vegan. This isn't a vegan restaurant. This is a meat doner restaurant. So they really honestly did not know that was vegan meat right there, and they were eating a vegan sandwich. That's made of wheat gluten, and spices. And I couldn't believe when I ordered the sandwich how real it was. It was incredible. And that was a historical moment for me. And that garlic sauce was amazing too. This was the best quiche I've ever had, vegan or not vegan. It's just incredible what people have been able to do with recipes. Just incredible. It's an incredible quiche. And then Lucky Leek is this sort of higher end vegan restaurant in Berlin that I love, and the food looks quite fancy, and it's quite expensive, but it's delicious. In Warsaw, this place is incredible. You said Warsaw before right over here, right? Yeah, Warsaw's incredible. I would say 4 years ago, there was basically a couple of lousy vegetarian restaurants. On Happy Cow, we saw a surge of vegan restaurants being added to Happy Cow. And we couldn't believe it. It was incredible. And it was May of 2014, or no, it was October of 2014. October of 2014. We decided we have to go to this place that has 15 vegan restaurants because they've been added so quickly. We have to go to Warsaw. By the time we got to Warsaw, May of 2015, there were 20 vegan restaurants. Now there are 45. It exploded, and I'll tell you why in a second. There are 2 vegan sushi places. Look at that sushi. I've been to Japan. I've never gotten sushi like this before. The owners have never been to Japan, and they're making sushi that looks absolutely incredible. It looks more incredible in person, but I mean, look at that. That's incredible. This one is also, I thought the sushi tasted better at this place, but Yumiko and Edamame, how many cities have 2 vegan sushi restaurants? Fully vegan. It's incredible, and it's Warsaw, okay? This is the reason why Warsaw has exploded. It was a burger contest, a hamburger contest. There were 25 entries. Kroważewa won the burger contest. It beat out all the other hamburgers, and it did it again last year. 2 years it's done this, where it's beaten out meat restaurants, which is incredible. This is one of the reasons why Warsaw has become such an incredible destination for vegans. The first city, as I mentioned before, with over 100 vegan restaurants was London, and my favorite restaurants. I like to take pictures of food, so Happy Cow is a good place for me. This is Fed by Water. That was a vegan lasagna that was phenomenal. Picky Wops. This is some of the best. Actually, I had incredible vegan pizza out here. How many of you had, I think it's Pizza Bite? How many of you tried that? Wasn't it good? Incredible, wasn't it? Yeah. So I may have to add that to my next list. So Picky Wops is amazing. They have like 12 types of vegan cheese. 2 chefs from Italy opened up Picky Wops in London. I absolutely love this place. This is The Gate, another upscale restaurant, upscale vegan restaurant in London. This is really neat. So why do I have a butcher, a meat butcher in my presentation? Why is someone clapping in the back there? Yeah, okay. So I have a butcher. I'm showing a butcher, okay, on my presentation. That's a meat place, but take a look here. Next door is Temple of Satan, which is a vegan restaurant, okay? Somebody got upset with me when I took this video, and you're gonna wonder why. Okay, look. Okay, meat restaurant is here. That's the vegan restaurant. There's the butcher, there's the vegan restaurant. Notice the customers. So what's interesting about that is right after that, the guy said, no video, no video. I'm like, I'm just taking a video. What's the problem? The problem is I stood out there for 1 hour and not one customer went into the butcher. Not one customer. So I think he's gonna have his days numbered, and perhaps Temple of Hackney or Temple of Satan. They opened up a new location, by the way, because they're doing so well financially. I think they're gonna end up taking over the butcher, and I think that's the goal, and that will make incredible international news. Keep your fingers crossed. I'm telling you, it's gotta happen. All right, Temple of Satan, it is junk food. It's not good for you, but I'll tell you, that vegan chicken is really good, and so is that macaroni and cheese. So it's fried chicken. Okay, Thailand's my next. How many of you have been to Thailand? Anyone been to Thailand? Thailand too? Thailand, okay. So Thailand is amazing in that once you've purchased your flight to Thailand, everything else is so cheap. It's incredibly cheap. I had a hotel on the beach for $9 US, about 7 euros, 8 euros, 7 euros, on the beach with a kayak in Koh Phangan Island. And it was just a room on the beach. That's how cheap it is. Anyway, these were some fabulous meals. This was on Koh Phangan, which is an island that I did a video about. By the way, we have a YouTube channel. It's Happy Cow's YouTube channel. You can see me traveling around talking about vegan food and going to events like this. And I'll actually be doing a video for this event. So stay tuned. So that is Koh Phangan. That's some of the food in Koh Phangan. Chiang Mai is another, that's the best Thai food I've ever had. Just incredible. They just do it right. It's inexpensive and it's incredible. It's called Pun Pun in Thailand, in Chiang Mai. Incredible Thai food. It's another Khun Churn in Bangkok. Just incredible Thai food. It's so colorful. Notice the colors that they use in their food. So important. And this is mall food at a mall in Thailand, okay? Take a look at the mall food. That's mall food. I got a huge plate of food. It was $1.50, about €1, for a huge plate of food. This is great. I did a video about Veganery, which is a vegan bakery. And it's a vegan bakery and ice cream shop in Bangkok. It's incredible. And what's really cool, you can check out the video, but they had this one dessert that was incredible. Now, I think it took me about a minute to put my spoon from the top all the way down into the layers to get to the bottom. It was tough. And you can see in the video, it really did. It took me a long time to eat that. I couldn't figure out what to do. She said, no, you have to eat all of the layers. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I managed. I think I spilled a couple things on my lap too. But okay, Crossroads. Los Angeles has some amazing vegan restaurants. This happens to be a very expensive, this is one of the most expensive vegan restaurants in the world. The concept is to just make vegan food so good, so expensive, just just charge whatever you want per plate and just make vegans and not vegans love the food. I took my cousin, my mom's cousin is 85 years old, my mom's older cousin. He had never been to a vegan restaurant. I took him to Crossroads about 5 months ago. Since then, he's been to Crossroads 7 times. It's his favorite restaurant, meat or not meat, in the world. And he was a guy that gave me a really hard time for being vegan. And he said, oh, you know, but he said, oh, I don't like vegan food. Let's go to a regular restaurant. This is his regular restaurant. This is where he brings he's a Hollywood producer, and he brings all of his celebrity clients here now. Great food, by the way. That's a crab cake up there. This is another place I went to about a year ago in Montreal, Canada. I love vegan sushi. That's going to be maybe a recurring theme of my presentation. But this is vegan sushi in Montreal, Canada. This is a vegan sushi restaurant. Only vegan sushi. The presentation was amazing. My picture is not so amazing. The presentation was amazing. If you see, those are cucumbers up here, draped down. And it was just, I don't know, it was really nice. Love that. Whoa, Shinzen is another vegan sushi place in San Francisco. Beautiful presentation. What's really nice about sushi is actually it doesn't cost a lot of money to make vegan sushi. I mean, it's white rice, vegetables. It's all about the skill of doing it. And it's inexpensive to make, which is really nice. This was in Gentil Gourmet. How many have been to Paris, France? Paris? Okay, Paris also. Paris now has about, I think I said 50, 51 vegan restaurants, maybe more, give or take. But Paris was a terrible place to go as a vegan when I went back in 2001. It just wasn't a place I would ever think of going as a vegan. But now it's a place I would actually go as a vegan. They have vegan sushi, or not vegan sushi, but they have vegan hamburgers and pizza and loads of high-end vegan restaurants. It's a fabulous place to go. And the sites are great as well. Screamers, this is pizza by the slice in New York City. This was so exciting. This was, I think, a year ago it opened up. And they have incredible vegan pizza by the slice. It's sort of different going into a New York pizza place and getting one slice of pizza and having a couple slices on your plate. These are the slices I ordered, but I ended up not. I brought like 5 of them home, but that was my meal for the next 3 days. Okay, and this is interesting. Montevideo, Uruguay. Why would I have Uruguay in my presentation when this is the country that has the highest meat consumption in the world? When I went to this country, I didn't think I was going to do a video. I did. You can see my video on YouTube. But this is incredible. This place is called Vegan Wraps. Those vegan wraps were incredible. What was really incredible was this. No name. He called it the savory muffin. I don't know what he had no name for it. It's one of the best things I've ever eaten in my life. It was a quinoa muffin with like a vegan cheese that he made, but it was incredible. And this guy's emulated meat as well at his restaurant. I highly recommend if you ever get to Uruguay, which I'm sure many of you won't. I don't know anyone else who's gone besides myself, but go to this place if you ever get a chance. It's incredible. Okay, this place is great. This was in Lisbon. I went to Lisbon in February. This guy from Ireland opened up a vegan crepe place in Lisbon. And he handed me this crepe, and this is actually me accepting the crepe from this guy. And it was just incredible. So there's a vegan crepe place in Lisbon. A lot of people say, oh, Lisbon, they don't have any vegan restaurants. This is a vegetarian restaurant, but I did include it because this guy makes one mean crepe. Unbelievable. That was good. So he sort of grills everything on the grill over here in Lisbon. go to another. Okay, let's see here. Okay. I was just in Santorini 3 days ago. I took these pictures there. How many of you have been to Santorini before? Anyone? Santorini? Yeah. What a beautiful place. Oh my. I think I ran out of my camera has no room left because of Santorini. There were so many pictures I took. This place was out of this world. How many of you have been to Catharos Cafe? Okay. They just converted over to a vegetarian restaurant. Their business is doing better now, a lot better, okay? This place, that was vegan feta cheese with pita, and that was a phyllo? Is it phyllo? It's a phyllo. Oh my, and the view, by the way, you can't see the view. I ate there at night. That's a rock over there, and then you can see the sea in the back. And the view was great, the music was great, the food was phenomenal. This place is just incredible. If you ever get over to Santorini, this is the place to go. Unbelievable. I'm getting hungry. Anyone have any Greek vegan feta cheese for me? Okay, vegan restaurants around the world. So Africa, 48, not bad. It's a different kind of country. Asia, 1780. Australasia, New Zealand, that area, 271. Europe is ahead of everyone right now with 2167 vegan restaurants. North America has 1,864. By the way, I checked this today. This is current. South America, 489 vegan restaurants. Here's where you can see what's going on in the world. Ready for it? There you go. Do you see that? What is that called? Exponential growth? Take a look. 2008, which is how many years ago? 10? Look what happened. Look about right here. Look at that. That's today, actually. That's the figure of today. It's incredible. I mean, think about that. There are now over 6,000 vegan restaurants in the world. That's not vegetarian. I'm not even dealing with vegetarian anymore. I'm just dealing with vegan restaurants now. That's incredible. Should I leave the slide up any longer? Are any of you in shock? Does anyone need any oxygen? This is, okay, because this shocked me when I saw it. Imagine when I was putting this graph together. Okay, according to Ohio State University study, 80% of restaurants fail within 5 years. That's a tough business, okay? What percentage of vegan restaurants on Happy Cow have closed after 5 years? Only 45%. Think about that. What about after 10 years? 69%. Still less than restaurants that close in 5 years. That's pretty good, okay? That's how many listings are today, as I mentioned before. Let's get into events. How many of you are enjoying this event today? How many of you are not enjoying this event today? Oh, okay, just one. That's not bad. Just one, right? Come up here. I want to interview you about that. Okay, so this is a vegan bodybuilder, by the way. If any of you think that vegans can't be strong, this is obvious. How many of you know who that is? Namai? Yeah. Namai I met actually in England. Turns out he's from LA, and now I hang out with him in LA. But I'm not going to tell you who's in that cow outfit. That's our mascot. It was a hot day, let's put it that way. Okay, events. So, Eat, Drink, Vegan in LA. This was just a couple of months ago, but the reason I'm showing you this event is, okay, basically, this was the line for a vegan event. 100% vegan, people, 100% vegan. This is the line for the event. And the reason I'm showing you this is I had to speed it up because it would take too long for me to show you. This is in Pasadena, California. This is one event in California this year, 2018. Can we go a little faster? I should have sped it up a little bit faster because there were so many people in this line. I didn't know when I was going to get to the end of this line. Let's keep it going, keep it going. So anyway, this is not the biggest vegan event in the world either, and I'm going to show you the biggest vegan event in the world after that. You sleeping yet? One vegan event, people. One vegan event. Still going, still going. Still going, still going. This looks like a football game, doesn't it? Or a soccer game, a football game. Okay, now we're hitting the end of the line, but it continued after this, okay? That was it. That was one vegan event. That was Eat, Drink, Vegan in Los Angeles. Okay, what's interesting about Eat, Drink, Vegan is it's the first time I've seen booths from other countries coming to our event. These were British companies, Jake's Vegan Steaks and Picky Wops. These are some of the best vegan restaurants in Los Angeles flying over and setting up booths at our event, and we're sending booths over to their events now. So imagine you have Los Angeles restaurants at this event setting up their booths. That's what's happening in the world of veganism in 2018. This didn't happen in 2017 or 2016. This is the first year I've seen that ever. Now, this is the biggest vegan event I've ever been to, 35,000 people in one day. Think about that, okay? You might think 35,000 sounds like a great party. I'll tell you this, the problem with events when they get really big, this event is very dense, there are lines. And sometimes what happens is you wait on a line get in, you pay to get in, you wait online for an hour, you get to the front of the line, and there's no food. That's not fun. Why is that fun? Let's take a look at what this event looks like now. So this is me walking through, I think I sped this up as well. I think I sort of had to speed this up because, look, this is the biggest, this was like 3 months ago. This is the biggest vegan event I've ever been to. Was it fun? No comment. This was an event where I waited for an hour in line and I wanted this, I think it was sushi, vegan sushi, and they were out after an hour. And I was not happy with that. I was really hungry. So I ended up drinking a glass of water. It was good water though. It wasn't as good as Greece, tap water, but it was good. But this, anyway, you can see what events are starting to look like, purely vegan events. There's no vegetarian food, it's purely vegan. And we could go on for quite a while. This is 35,000 people.
Many of our exhibitors have run out of food.
I've run out of food, right. It's already happening. It's already happening here. This is the future. The future looks very grim for veganism. No, I'm kidding. It actually is incredible because what it does is it enables people who are not vegan to come to events like, oh, it's at the end. Oh, look at that, I got to the end of it. So that was 35,000 people in one day a few months ago. This is right now. Look at that, how did I do that? So this is this event, so it's kind of looking like the Los Angeles event, you know? So, does anyone recognize any of their friends in this picture? Is it? I think that's me over there. Okay. This is interesting too. This is another trend. This hasn't happened yet. Vegan Cookie Con. Because vegans now, there's quite a few more of them, we're having specialized vegan events. The Vegan Cookie and Ice Cream event is coming up in Long Beach. And I'm going to miss it. I'll be in Europe still. I'm traveling until January. So, okay. So here's some vegan food trends. 12% of millennials are faithful vegetarians. It's pretty cool. It's really growing, the younger set. Clean meat, how many of you heard of clean meat? Clean meat movement? It's basically taking cow cells, putting them in a petri dish, feeding them, and turning the cells into meat. How many of you vegans would try this meat? You're like me, yeah. Well, people who eat meat, like my dad, will not stop eating meat. He just won't. He's the most stubborn guy in the world. Love you, Dad, but you're stubborn. Hope he is watching this somewhere. So, clean meat is a way to get meat into the people who will not stop or will never become vegan. You know, I advocate it because of that. Germany is the #1 producer of vegan food. I've had many products here and in Greece at stores. And a lot of them are from Germany. It was at Vegan Nation last night, and their candy bars were from Germany. It's a big movement over there. McDonald's, Domino's, they're all, I don't know if you've been reading, but all of these chains are now serving something vegan, including McDonald's in Finland and Sweden. They have a vegan burger. I was in London, they had a vegan potato burger. It wasn't good, but they have it. It's just nice that they have the option. KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and from America is now serving vegan chicken, I think starting this month in London, in England, which is really cool. Some other vegan food trends, dairy milk sales. How many dairy farmers are in the room? Okay. I wouldn't want to be a dairy farmer right now. In fact, what dairy farmers are doing right now is they're making it so that people who create vegan milk can't call it milk anymore. And vegan meat companies can't call their vegan meat anymore. That's what they're feeling the threat of the vegan movement. So vegan cheese is estimated, my friend Miyoko, who has a vegan cheese company, 2 days ago, her company has now a huge investment by Nestle's. You've probably heard of Nestle's, they're massive. So if Nestle's is putting money into a vegan food company, you know what's going on. Vegan meat, seafood, eggs are becoming more believable, incredibly believable. There's vegan sausages right now, you wouldn't know. There's the Impossible Burger, which is incredible, which I'll get into. Global meat substitutes are expected to garner, what, $5.2 billion by 2020. It's incredible. So the vegan market is growing exponentially around the world. And you can see the trend. You can see the number of vegan restaurants in the world and what's happening. 70% of universities offer vegan options, universities. Vegan cruises, I went on a vegan cruise last year. It was incredible. All vegan food. Food tours, bars. We have vegan bars in Los Angeles where they serve vegan alcohol. Not all alcohol is vegan. Nestle's is working on vegan products. One of them, I actually made that comment, or I put that comment about 3 weeks ago, and then I realized one of their vegan products was Miyoko's cheese, is now part of their umbrella. I think they invested in Miyoko's vegan cheese. Ben & Jerry's, which is a big ice cream company, they now have vegan ice cream it is definitely as good as the ice cream it's replacing. It's incredible. IKEA, how many of you heard of IKEA? They serve millions of hot dogs. Now they're serving a vegan hot dog, and that was a huge thing for me because they sold over 100 million hot dogs, and they've already sold over 1 million vegan hot dogs. It's huge news for the animals. That's huge news for our health. Even though vegan hot dogs aren't exactly healthy, they're definitely better than nitrates and regular hot dogs. Vegan law now requires in California hospitals and prisons to offer vegan meals. I mean, that's great for prisoners, great for hospitals, and great for us. European vegan and veggie meat sales have decreased by 451% over 4 years, meaning hopefully, I'd love to ask you later how many of you feel, I want to know when we're going to have a vegan world. Maybe I'll ask you that later, because I've heard people say 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, and never. I'm not sure myself, but it's looking good for vegans. That's the Impossible Burger. How many of you have heard of this burger? So this burger is so believable in terms of the flavor and the texture that I brought my uncle to a fast food place that has the Impossible Burger now. He didn't even know. He didn't even know it was a burger, or a vegan burger. It's that believable. So we're getting to that point where the vegan meats. I just took this off their website about a week ago. I had a vegan slider with Impossible, vegan meat pizza with the Impossible Burger. We're in a weird time right now. Things are becoming so believable that there's really, in my opinion, no reason not to go vegan, even taste. I was in Canada about a month ago, and I read that A&W served what's called the Beyond Burger, which is a very believable burger. Vegan burger. They were sold out at a fast food place that serves mostly beef burgers, so I never tried it. But I did take a picture from the outside, and I was crying at that point. So anyway, this is a regular grocery store where my parents live in Virginia, a regular grocery store. That's just vegan, like dairy, that's yogurt and things. And over there is milks, just the milks. That's in a regular grocery store. That's not in a vegan grocery store. So look what's happening. Vegan milks, cashew milk, soy milk, they're taking over. Oh, and this was neat. Those are tomatoes, okay? Ahimi, this company called Ocean Hugger Foods, has made this salmon that it's made of tomatoes and it tastes like salmon. It's weird. So we have some Greek history really fast. Ancient Pythagoras, Aristoteles is my, what is it? How do you pronounce it? Aristoteles, okay. So, and Plato were vegetarians, which is, how many of you knew that? I am assuming many of you knew that? Yeah, okay, not everybody knew that. They were vegetarians. There's a massive history of vegetarianism in this country, massive. In fact, up until the 19th century, if you were a vegetarian, you were called Pythagorean in London. You were called Pythagorean after Pythagoras. Pardon my Greek accent, it's not that very good. 16 vegan and 37 vegetarian restaurants listed on Happy Cow in all of Greece, 10 of which are in Athens. Athens has 10 vegan restaurants, as I mentioned. After Athens, Thessaloniki. Exactly. I was going to say that, but I wanted to test you to make sure you knew how to say it. Has the second most vegan restaurants in Greece. Now, why did I put a random couple? These are two people I met last night, and I met them at a vegan restaurant. They became vegan because of Pythagoras. I've never heard of this before. That's incredible. So thank you, too. Okay, restaurants converting to vegan. So Australia, these are restaurants that were meat restaurants. Now they're vegan restaurants, and they are doing better. And I'll tell you, I'm just going to go through these quickly. Just take a look. One of them actually, let me go back there. In Cambodia, Sabe Vegalicious was a dog meat restaurant. It's now vegan. See that? Wow. These are other restaurants that I'm keeping a list of restaurants that were meat restaurants that are now vegan. And the good news is, the bottom line, 213% increase in gross sales. Think about that. These are some weird vegan restaurants. There's globally vegan, globally local is an interesting one that I ate at in London, Ontario. It's a 24-hour drive-through. In Herndon, Virginia, where my parents live, there's a salt, oil, sugar-free vegan restaurant. It has no salt, no oil, no sugar. My dad did not like that restaurant. I did. He said, is there ketchup? Is there tomato sauce? I said, no, sorry, Dad. You're going to have to deal with this. There's a popcorn lounge in Memphis, and there's this place in London that has these little ice creams that look like avocados. That's ice cream. Vegan ice cream, of course. Okay, unusual. Carmen Ragosta is a place in Paris, and it has really interesting, it's in a clothing store, which is interesting. So it's a little clothing store with vegan food. Dark Hall Coffee is goth themed, like black makeup, and pretty crazy place. Casa Diablo is a vegan strip club that I went to. I mean, I don't normally go to those, but the Johnny Diablo invited me. Johnny Diablo, his last name is Devil in English. So anyway, he invited me to go, and their food was great, but I had to close my eyes because my mother would not have approved of me going there. And Blackout is a restaurant in Las Vegas where you walk in, it's dark, you eat your vegan food in the dark. You want to see a picture of the food? Okay, this was a picture posted by Jill Fulbright Gray. She's a member of Happy Cow, and this was called Our Dinner. I thought it was a beautiful picture. Let me just describe what you're looking at. That is a, I'm not sure. I don't know what that is. But anyway, that's her picture of her dinner. I thought that was pretty cute. So here's just some quick tips for you. I've learned, I just took notes around the world as I found out things are not vegan as a vegan. If you're trying to go vegan, I'm not going to give you a speech on why to go vegan, but I can give you some tips here. Refried beans often contain pork fat in Mexico. When I go to Mexico, they often do. Orange juice, even on an airplane. First of all, orange juice on an airplane tastes terrible. Have you ever had orange juice on an airplane? It tastes terrible. Freshly squeezed, for me, is the only way to go. But a lot of times they'll put it'll say it has vitamin D. That's an animal-derived product. Soy cheese often has pasta and egg in it. That's the nice thing about this place is these are vegan companies here, so you don't have to deal with this. Marinara, which tomato sauce often contains fish. So you have to, you say tomato sauce, they'll often put fish in it. Apples and orange juices are clarified with isinglass, which is a fish bladder. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just, if you're really trying to go vegan, and I'm going to get to the point of all of this, why I'm telling you all of these, because it's almost impossible to go vegan. That's a spoiler. Okay, turmeric, anti-inflammatory. Some Italian pizza crusts, I was in Italy, and someone from MTV said it contains strutto, which is pork fat, in the pizza crust. Argentina, beef fat in the bread. Tempura made with egg. Even though you get vegetable tempura, fried vegetables, often contains egg. Wine may contain milk proteins, egg whites, animal proteins, wines. There are vegan wines, by the way, and they're non-vegan wines. And dolmades, this is a new one. I just added this morning. In Greece, may contain butter. I didn't know this. I said, are your dolmades vegan? And they said, oh, no, they'll contain butter. I said, wow, I never knew this. And finally, these are my last points. Some people may find vegans annoying. In fact, in London, 26% of people will not become vegan ever, according to a study I read last year. Why? Because they hate vegans. Okay, keep that in mind. Recommend curbing these behaviors. That's what I recommend. And as I said, to be fully vegan, you would need to live in a cave. Because fact is, I know some of you, you're radical vegans, and look, I've been there. 27 years of this, I've seen it all. But I can say that even the tires, if you drove here, the tires on your car are probably not vegan, unless they're Michelins. Those are vegan. My bike tires are vegan. A lot of bicycle tires are not vegan. So if you really think you're not buying any animal products, think again. You probably are. You really probably would have to live in a cave at this point because animal products are in everything. Do your best. It's a great way to go. I've got my blood tested every year for 27 years. No deficiencies, as I mentioned before. I'm the healthiest person in my family. And thank you very, very much for coming. Thank you for supporting the vegan scene here in Greece. And does anyone have any questions? Any questions about vegan travel, about anything? Questions? Yes. Yes, go ahead.
Repeat the question, but how do you stay so thin trying all this food?
The question is, how do I stay so thin trying all of these foods? Okay. Does anyone want to carry my backpack home? This is one of my, oh my God. This is one of my secrets. It's incredibly heavy. But yeah, it probably does help. But so a couple of things that I do is I go to different restaurants and I try to keep the meals, I try to keep them small. So I'll go to a restaurant and I'll just order an appetizer or I'll just order a main. But I do eat, I've eaten at every vegan restaurant, almost, a couple I have to eat at maybe tonight. I'll probably eat 3 or 4 tonight. But I try to eat small portions at each restaurant so I can try the food and then I stop when I'm full. I never eat beyond full. And that's important for me. Yes.
Do you take any supplements, or is it necessary to take?
I do. I take vitamin B12, okay? I take a whole food source of vitamin B12. I take it like once a week. I do that. And I take omega-3, DHA, EPA from algae, and that's it. D3 in the winter, in fact, D3 in the winter, in Greece, you're probably okay. But when you live up north in Norway, you have to take vitamin D in the winter. You're not getting enough vitamin D. You can get brittle bones, and it can cause problems. Those are the two I take. B12, I need to take. The omega-3s, I've heard mixed reviews on that. You do, you don't, you should. There's a guy by the name of Dr. Michael Greger. How many of you heard of Dr. Michael Greger? He's incredible. Nutritionfacts.org. This guy's insane. He just knows everything about food. So he recommends those as well. That's where I'm getting my information from him. And what he believes is you should be taking algae-based DHA, EPA, and some of the others that I mentioned before. I can talk to you after if you're thinking of going vegan and if some of the stuff you might want to take. So anyone else? Any other questions? Yeah.
They can ask you in Greek too, because we have a translator if you want to.
They can ask me in Greek. Anyone now? Does anyone want to ask a question in Greek? What about in Chinese? Japanese? Polish? Any other questions? Okay, cool. We have a question where? To my right. I can't quite see these bright lights. Okay, go ahead, just ask away. There's no stupid questions, just stupid people. I'm kidding.
Did you have waitress? How the waitress were serving the food in the dark without light?
Oh, in the dark? It's interesting. So it's all planned out. I guess they have things on the floor which guide them along, and they're actually considering hiring only blind people, which would make sense. They know how to get around where it's dark. Yeah, no. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, it was dark. I didn't see it. All you see is the black. Yeah, anyone?
What are these vegan products made from?
What are vegan products made from? Okay, different things. For example, vegan cheese. There's an excellent vegan cheese right outside that you might want to try. It's made of potato and tapioca. Okay? There are vegan cheeses made of cashews that are incredible. There's vegan meats that are made of wheat gluten and soy proteins. The Impossible Burger, that's made of a potato protein with some wheat protein, with spices, and they infused it's a blood. It's actually called heme iron. They've created a blood out of genetically modified yeast, of all things. Some other companies are using beet juice as the blood in some of these burgers. And they're so believable, you cannot believe it. So, yes. And you can try like Vegan Nation as a vegan souvlaki, and he's using mushrooms as meat. So people are getting clever. And so what is the place I ate at last night? Begins with a C. What's the? Cocomela. Yeah, they use mushrooms also. It's great. These potatoes and mushrooms, and put it in a pita and put sauce on it. They have vegan mayonnaise, which is they make it out of soybean oil. So it's different things depending on the product you want to emulate.
And is it easy to be in everyday life with friends?
I should give you the microphone. Is it easy to be everyday in life and friends? Yeah, okay, so I'll tell you this. I have friends that didn't know I was vegan for 10 years. They didn't even know. Because I would go to a restaurant, just order a salad. I didn't care. It wasn't that important to me. But the question is it hard to have friends when you're vegan, basically? And it's one of those things where if you explain to your friends why you're doing it and you're not creating harm to the planet or to them, it's really none of their business what you do. If you're hurting them and hurting the planet, I would say it is their business. So I would just say go along with it. Order salads. You can go a day without food. I've done it many times. Order a salad. Every restaurant has a salad.
Some of them judge it and have a different opinion.
Right.
And it's sometimes difficult to explain why you're doing that.
Okay, so what I do is I'll go to the restaurant and I will just order a salad, or I won't eat anything. And if they say, "Why aren't you eating?" I'm not hungry. If you explain it to a friend and they don't understand, you have to think, is this a friend I want? Why are they not understanding? Why are they not listening to me at all? So you can just go along with it. And all of my friends understand. I'll have meat with my friends. I know some people who won't. I'll eat meat, and they'll eat meat, and I'll eat a vegetable dish, and we'll go along on our merry way. But most of them now have become vegan. by the way, because they eat with me, and after a while, they start to realize, wow, he's staying slim, and man, you should see some of my friends. They're big. Yes? Is what?
Why do vegans want plant-based food which tastes like animal?
Okay. My belief, it's caloric density. I think when people want a burger, they want something really dense, and they want something with high levels of energy. I also think people, they've grown up with meat. You know, people grew up with burgers. It's comfort food. It's something we're used to. So what happens is people stop eating meat, and then they crave cheese and meat. Cheese is for other reasons I can get into. If you want to know why you're addicted to cheese, look up casein, and you'll realize why you're addicted to cheese. Meat also has addictive properties to it. But I think people, either caloric density is one thing, or they just want, you know, something that reminds them of their childhood or something they're used to. People like food they're familiar with.
What is the cost of the vegan foods in other countries? Because I realized...
The cost of vegan greens?
Sorry?
The cost of vegan greens?
What is the cost of vegan food?
Food.
What is the cost of vegan food in other countries? Because I realized that Greece has less of demand than because it's only got 10.
Right. Are you talking about vegan products at grocery stores, or are you talking about vegan restaurant prices?
Restaurants are sometimes very expensive here in Greece, and I realize why the demand is not like it is in London. So is it
It's expensive everywhere. I mean, a lot of restaurants are. There are inexpensive ones, but it's possibly more expensive than I think it should be. I had a $26 burger in Zurich last week, and it wasn't good, by the way. It wasn't good, but Zurich is expensive. But the fact is that it's considered still a bit of a specialty around the world, so they do end up charging more. Maybe there's a market. Maybe you open up, or maybe you have a friend open up an inexpensive vegan restaurant. There's plenty of vegan foods. I love just mashed potatoes with garlic and lemon. That's incredible, and it's cheap. They're expensive. Yes. Yes, exactly. Well, at this place. Yeah.
I want to taste it. These products are fresh. If they're using what they're using, it's fruit and
it's local, a lot of it. Yeah, I agree.
In the supermarket, I am using it's much less money than what I was before. But
Right.
when I go to the restaurant, it's really expensive.
Well, you know, as demand increases,
Even a
yeah.
simple restaurant,
Yep.
a low-class restaurant, it's
Yep.
so expensive. It's like homemade.
Exactly.
It's not homemade.
So I agree. Exactly. So I agree. Vegan food is expensive. A lot of it at restaurants is expensive. I know when I make lentils at home with a little garlic, a little lemon, it's very inexpensive. It costs almost nothing. What it comes down to is that as long as there's demand, there will be supply. As long as people pay these prices, the prices will exist. So if you or a friend or someone else opens up a restaurant that's inexpensive, then maybe it's good. It really comes down to, is the food good? And then people are often willing to spend a little bit more for it. But I agree with you. I mean, there's that Crossroads I don't go to often because it's about $100 a person. It's very expensive.
Even your experience in London, where they had a lot of those restaurants?
It depends. Well, London is a more expensive city, but no, they have inexpensive ones. They have expensive ones. I mean, for me, when I went to Warsaw, they were really inexpensive. I mean, and the people in Warsaw also believe that their food at restaurants is inexpensive. I mean, that Kroważowa burger was, I think, equivalent of about $2, which is reasonable. Maybe $1.50. So different countries do have, different. In Thailand, I don't know what it is for local people, but if you come from Greece and you go to Thailand, it's a steal. I mean, you're spending almost no money there for the food. So yeah, I agree. So as time goes on, things are going to change because there are more vegans and things will change. So yes. Any other questions? Yes, right here.
I have a suggestion for your
Suggestion.
for your tips section.
Okay.
I mentioned the idea.
Yes.
The bun is not vegan.
The what? The bun is not vegan.
It's not vegan.
Okay, I didn't know that. Thank you.
At least in Cyprus.
Okay, yeah. I've noticed a lot of places they'll have a vegan burger and you have to ask, is the bun vegan? Yes. So I'll add that, but I did not know that. I just had the hot dog itself, I know is. But yeah. And
I decided to try it and then I asked, is it vegan?
yeah. Well, you just got to eat the hot dog itself, right? Yeah. It's unfortunate. Any other questions? I don't know who is asked. You, right here. Hi.
I'm wondering, in your personal opinion,
Yeah.
do you think that the market is growing because it is a new market to be exploited?
Is it a trend?
Or do you think that it's actually because people are becoming more compassionate or that we're evolving or?
I think it's I don't think it's a trend like neckties, you know, go wider, thinner, pants go wider, thinner throughout the ages. This is something that the planet needs. This is something that our health needs. And everything over the years, in 27 years, not one person has convinced me to eat meat. So the fact is that once, now there are more former vegans than vegans. So people are falling off the wagon. I think one of the reasons they're not supplementing B12 or D and they're not feeling well and they're going back. But overall, the number of vegans is still going up. And it's still going up. So I think it's more than a trend. I think it's growth. And I think it's going to continue to grow. Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. Yeah, right here.
Hello.
Hi.
Sorry, what was the amount of proportion of people that you said?
The what people?
The proportion of vegans that were deficient in B12?
I think it was 55%.
Okay. So the question is, what's the proportion of non-vegans that are deficient?
I think 99.8% had enough B12.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so meters, yeah. That's something that is just, there's not a vegetable source for that. It doesn't make meat good for you. There's a lot of things in meat you do not want in your body, definitely. But it's like taking a candy bar and putting a vitamin pill in it. It's still a candy bar, but now it's got 100% of vitamin C, 100% of vitamin D. It's still a candy bar. So there are good things in that vitamin pill, but that doesn't mean the candy bar is good for you. Yeah. Anyone? Anyone? Right here.
How come you became vegan?
I was in a bookstore. I was, I'm not going to tell you how old I am. Why would I do that? But I was in a bookstore 27 years ago. And I realized that every habit, everything that I would start doing then, I was going to be doing when I was 80. I saw my grandfather was really old, and I said, I better start now. And I felt a lot older than I was. I went to the bookstore, and I was reading books on self-improvement. I picked up a book called Fit for Life, and it talked about eating fruit in the morning, because you're dehydrated at night and fruit, you know, digests easily and it's got a lot of water in it. That made sense. A couple of other things made sense. I was vegan the next day. For 6 months, I was eating pasta with low-fat tomato sauce. Don't ask why. I didn't know how to cook. And low-fat, I don't know why. I just thought that was healthy at the time. 6 months, I felt lousy because that's all I was eating. But I was stubborn, and I felt like I had to do this. And I would eat fruit and that, but not much fruit. I would pretty much eat the pasta every day. And then after that, I noticed there were some products at the store. Then I moved to Los Angeles. Then everything changed. Anything else? Anyone else have any questions? Questions? Okay, I think that's about it. Yeah, we do. Yes. I'm sorry, you're vegan and? You're not vegan? Okay. Okay. Sure. Yes, okay. So she's almost, you're trying to become vegetarian? Is that okay, good. Okay. Is there bad food preservatives in many vegan products? Yeah. Vegan does not mean healthy. Chemistry. There's questionable chemistry in some vegan products. What I try to do is I try to buy locally. I mean, one of the things that I was absolutely loving here was the farmers markets and just going, I picked up 10 pomegranates and ate them the last day. The pomegranates here are amazing. And they're superfoods. You know, in fact, when you eat a pomegranate, it protects you from the sun. It's like drinking sunblock. So your skin doesn't get damaged as much when you eat pomegranates and blueberries and dark fruits. But yeah, preservatives. Yes, the answer is yes. Vegan does not mean healthy. I tell people this all the time. It doesn't mean it's healthy. Read the labels. You might see preservatives in a vegan product. That doesn't make it good for you. But if you see fewer ingredients, if you see that a vegan cheese has cashews, some salt, and whatever, 3 ingredients, that's not bad. No preservatives. So yeah, just look at the labels and don't assume that vegan is healthy. Yeah. Anyone else? Anyone? Oh, okay, great. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Ciao.